Hi ladies, so today I'm doing a quick tutorial on how I do my Flexi rod set. So this is one of my favorite hairstyles of all time. I love Flexi rod out, if that's what you even want to call it. So I thought I would do a quick tutorial. As you can see here, I started with 4 large sections. I let my hair air dry in very large twists. So now I'm just taking the sections down and sectioning it off into smaller medium-sized sections. Okay, so I personally prefer to do my Flexi rod sets on dry hair. I know when I start with soaking wet hair, it just takes way too long to dry. I have too much hair and I have to put in too many Flexi rods and it just takes way too long. So I let my hair completely dry first. Then I spritz it with some water just until it's damp. I still don't want it soaking wet at this point. Then I run some shea butter through my hair, which my hair personally loves. I detangle very easily with shea butter and it gives me a nice sheen when I'm done. And then I can't forget, in addition to the water and shea butter, I also use homemade flaxseed gel. As you can see here, it's very slimy and goopy, but it gives great shine, light hold, and your hair can really benefit from the nutrients in flax seeds. Okay, so a quick overview is basically so far I've sectioned it into medium sections. I've detangled using my water and shea butter. Please use your butter or cream of choice. And then I'm rolling up the hair. Okay, so now I'm going to get a little bit deeper into it because I really want to explain to you guys how I'm able to achieve a tight and taut flexi rod. As we all know, anytime you're rolling your hair up on a rod or a roller or anything like that, our main goal is to get the hair smooth and tight on that roller. Otherwise, your hair just comes out too poofy and you lose the great definition of the roller. So I start by applying some flaxseed gel to achieve some smoothness. And then I take my flexi rod and I smooth my section out, and I want to place the flexi rod about halfway down that section of hair. And then once I have it placed, I begin rolling the lower half of that section around the rod, going down and being sure to smooth the hair out and release any tangles along the way, because we really want this to come out very smooth. And make sure the ends of your hair are well coated with your gel or butter of choice, because you want them to stick by themselves to the flexi rod. And then basically I finish rolling up the top section and I'm making sure that I'm getting the flexi rod very close to my scalp. And then you want to just fold down that little tail that's left over on the flexi rod. Okay, so I just want to pause real quick and explain why I start my flexi rod off halfway down this section of hair. So in my personal experience, I found when I try to start my flexi rod off at the ends by wrapping the ends of my hair around the flexi rod first and then rolling up to my scalp, that it's very hard for me to keep the hair taut, and I experience a lot of slack in the hair, which then goes on to produce puffiness and loss of definition when I try to take my flexi rods out once it's dried. So by starting halfway down the hair, I'm able to put some tension in the hair, holding the roots as straight as I possibly can. And I'm able to keep the tension there while I'm rolling the bottom section around the flexi rod. So as you can see here, my roots are still very taut and extended. I don't have any slack. There's no poofiness in my roots right now, as I'm able to wrap the hair around the flexi rod. And then once I have the hair completely wrapped on the bottom, now I can roll the top portion of that section and keep it taut and get the flexi rod very close to my roots without experiencing any bulging or puffiness. And then as I fold that tail down, it pulls my roots even tighter. So now I'm going to have smoothness from root to tip. Okay, so even starting with damp hair, it took me 7 hours for my hair to dry. So once my hair was completely dry, I go ahead and I comb it through with my comb brush, as I like to call it, and then I pin curl my hair. Okay, so of course you don't have to pin curl your hair. You could basically stop at the step of taking the flexi rods out and rock it more with a spiral curl or a Shirley temple curl. But I personally like to pin curl the hair because I find that it gives a more natural and organic curl. They're a lot fuller and more bouncy. I personally just prefer it to look that way. So that is the reasoning why I pin curl the hair. And even after 7 hours, there's still a couple flexi rods that hadn't completely dried. So I just left them in when I went to sleep, and I put my scarf on and just went to bed because I wasn't going to worry about trying to get it completely dry. So now this is the morning time. I'm unwinding it. So right here you could see that first one I took out. That is what it looks like coming straight off the flexi rod. And then as you can see, I'm taking out my pin curls, and each curl has more of a loose and not so uniform curl. So as you can see here, it's just very natural, very organic. It doesn't look like it was set on any type of rod. It's just kind of doing its own thing. And that's really what I prefer. So now I shake my hair out and I just try to let them naturally loosen up on their own. And I rub my scalp a little bit to free up the sections that my hair was in. And then I go in and I begin to separate each curl. So I don't want to do too much separating. I'm not trying to do very small sections, but I'm just doing it enough so that it gets that body and that fullness that I'm looking to achieve. Okay, so now last but not least, you can rock your hair however you want at this point. You can put a middle part, you can do a side part, to the left or the right, however you usually like to rock your hair. I personally like to do some faux bangs. So I just take my bobby pins and I pin back that top, I'm very tongue-tied today, that top section of hair, so that way when the curls fall forward, I have a faux bang effect going on. And that's typically how I like to rock my curls when I do this look. This is one of my favorite looks. It's very easy, and at night I just pin curl the hair back up. So I just take medium-sized sections, comb through it with my comb brush, and pin curl it back up. If I need to, I'll add a little bit more shea butter or some coconut oil just for sheen as the week goes on. Typically, I can rock this for 2 weeks as long as there's not a lot of humidity or anything like that. So yeah, I hope this tutorial was useful. Please leave any comments or questions below. And thanks for checking me out. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you ladies soon. Bye.